Yo, yo. Yo, man. Shit. What up, fam? I see you, bro. Before we get started, though, I gotta put something in here. That's been. I don't want to keep on this conversation much longer, but I'm gonna address this. So clearly, somebody think that they make sense, but they really don't. And honestly, it just the older you get, the more you're supposed to be able to hear. You know what I'm saying? I would hope motherfuckers could hear and recognize things, even though sometimes people can't. And that's where niggas like me come in to help motherfuckers out. Okay, so everybody's geeking off of this big pun thing, right? They're like, oh, see, Fat Joe needs to apologize and all this. You American Negroes, you need to learn how to fucking listen. Okay? I'm not bringing up old beef. I'm not bringing up new beef. I'm just telling you, you're going to have to start being mindful and listen to what the fuck people are saying to you. Listen to this.
So famous is when I go. One of the lines that made the song so famous is when I go Boricua, Morena, everybody women is Puerto Rican and black woman. That's like my love to the music, you know. My love to thank you to the black people for accepting Boricua. Thank you to the black people for accepting Boricua. Thank you to the black people for accepting Boricua.
Now that's what everybody's taking, and everybody's like, "Yo, see, Paul's paying homage." Melanated being, keep it 100 with your motherfucking self. When have Hispanic men ever been all in arms for you to date their women? They never have. Listen to what the fuck this man just said. See, I'm not dumb. I put my big ears on every day. Listen to what the fuck he just said.
One of the lines that made the song so famous is when I go Boricua, Morena, everybody women is Puerto Rican and black woman.
So you would say Puerto Rican and black women. So there is no black man, just Puerto Ricans and black women. But every melanated man knows that if you try to holler at Spanish women, they'll tell you, stick to your own, talk to your own. So this nigga secretly wants to fuck my women. That's basically what he's saying. Talking about thank you to hip hop. No, he's not. He's not saying thank you to hip hop at all. He's saying thank you, black women, and thank you, Puerto Ricans. So he just excluded black men, period. And nobody heard this. Listen to it again. Listen.
The line that made the song so famous is when I go Boricua, Morena, everybody women is Puerto Rican and black woman.
So he couldn't say Boricua Morenos. You know what I'm saying? As in the group. No, he couldn't say that. No, he had to say Boricua Morena. So it's just for the black woman. That's it. People like Gully TV, everybody share that shit. You a motherfucking idiot. Dog, you're not listening. You're not listening at all. You're not hearing shit. And that's fine. A lot of you dumb niggas don't hear shit, and you're never going to hear shit. But that's cool, though. So the real fucking situation about this quantum leap shit, this is a deep one because I feel this is the reason why y'all don't be comprehending shit. This is why it don't fit. This is why it don't fit with everybody, and everybody don't get it. So back to this black and white thing, right? Talking about words. You know how I tell you guys that black and white, as spells, at least for the Western hemisphere spell casting, I tell you it's from the Moors. I tell you it's from the 11th century in the game called chess, right? I was doing some thinking this morning, and I really kind of I had to say something to myself. I had to say, what if? All right. So there was a show in the 80s, right, called Quantum Leap. And what the dude did was he was able to jump from different times. It would be put into different times. And I forgot what he had to do to figure his way out to get to the portal to get to wherever he was going to be sent to next. I feel that that's what they did. I feel like, and they're not physically, like they don't have a time machine or nothing like that. I feel like they went into history, took the way that ancients looked at things, and then just morphed it in modern time. That's how I feel. I feel that the white people do not exist in ancient times. So there is no white people. So nobody's judging people off of skin tone. The only reason it even worked for paleface is because pale and white, they go together. Even though as far as status, paleface is not white. That's something that anybody can be. But when it comes to black, it's like, I don't get how we didn't see that as a spell, period, when I'm brown. You can look at the hair on my face and my glasses, and you could be like, yo, okay, I can clearly see the difference between black and brown. Then you have people, black is like the original color. I don't believe that. I believe that people talk about the black and brown germ. They say from there comes white people. I don't believe that. I believe black and white come from brown. Now, that's just me. I don't believe the original people on Earth were super dark or super light. I just don't. This Earth is going to have both climates. It's going to have, cold and heat. So wouldn't the perfect person for it be like the one in the middle? That's just how I feel. Blacks, melanated being on Earth, are being subjugated as a negative. But it's not because of them. Those are spells put on them. Sagging your pants and stuff like that. Nobody was sagging they fucking whatever the fuck they were wearing in ancient times. They weren't sagging them. Nobody was using ancient language slang. That's not true. Like, these people were hit in the head. They've been, downtrodden. That's why they act like that. You know what I'm saying? If they had their 50,000 patents thrown in their face since a child, if they got to see, their greats as a child, and it wasn't so hidden and they had to find it, and why everybody else is being programmed to love Mr. Charlie, like they're being looked at as the greatest of the greatest. Everybody else is being looked at as failures who are coming pretty much begging this person. But everybody wasn't around them the whole time. The American Negro was. So their motivation and integrity are, their motivation would be way more tainted than all these other people. All these other people are coming off their own lives. Why do you think third world country people come over here and act like they're so cultured? You guys are bums. You're running from your own stuff. You know you're a bum. That's why you're coming over here. There are people from China that will never come over here. Why? Because they're rich. People from Russia that would never come over here. Why? Because they're rich. They're successful in their land. They're not going anywhere. But when you talk about, I'm trying to make a better living and all, that's telling me you're dilapidated. You're broke. That's why you're doing that. So it's like, how are you coming over here with all this pride and shit? Because you hadn't been in the same land as your oppressor. Puerto Rican versus Puerto Rican on that island. Dominican versus Dominican on that island. You know what I'm saying? Haitian I'm not getting into that. Mexican versus Mexican in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? It's El Salvadorian versus El Salvadorian in El Salvador. So it's like they don't have the differential that black and white Americans do. That's why the spell casting is coming from here. That's why this English language, this is not old English, this is modern English. That's why this specific type of spellcasting language is coming from here because it's from these two. Well, I'm here to tell melanated beings in ancient times, black meant what it meant. That's why it's irritating when you have Pan-Africans talking about, oh no, black hasn't always meant that. Yes, black, B-L-A-C-K, has always meant what the fuck it means. You cannot take the African word for black and then try to correlate it with the English definition of black. It does not work. That's a lie. That's like taking Sanskrit and what they say as black in that and then trying to convert it to English language. It's not going to work. It just doesn't. Not with this spellcasting game. It doesn't. So we have a bunch of people out here hating on melanated skin, not realizing that the universe is complete darkness. Before you're breached out of your mother, you're coming out of a dark hole. The unknown will always be what we call dark or black. But that's in the scientific sense. In the English spellcasting sense, it was a dark and stormy night. They were casted into everlasting darkness. Okay, that's what black means. It means evil. It's a negative. This is why we're pushing so hard to not be called black. You know what I'm saying? And people don't mind being called Negro. And I can hear people already. It means the same thing. No, it doesn't. Negro is a Spanish word for black, but that's not the only word for black. It's not. They have some bar. They have Pedro. They have Negro. They have Moreno. We just heard Pun say it. Morena, black woman. So clearly, Negro doesn't have to be used when you're talking about the word black. Negro is only used when you're talking in a negative sense. That's the argument with Pan-Africans and low cognitive, uneducated, melanated beings. It's like they think they're slick when they say something like black means Negro. You are such a child when it comes to language, and you need to sit down. You need to sit down because Negro is negative. It's always been a negative. Why wouldn't they call it the Moreno Leagues? They're still saying a Spanish word. Negro is Spanish, motherfucker. So you got the white boy speaking Spanish. That's odd. But at the same time, there's a better word to use. Moreno. Why didn't they use that? Because that's more of a respectable word to use. It could have been Boricua and Negra, Boricua and Negra. But Pun knows in Spanish, Negra is still a negative compared to Morena. See, you don't want to fuck with me, all right? You don't want to fuck with the Light Show. He's from the North Gate. He's from America, and he rhymes, so he knows exactly what spellcasting does, and he kind of performs it. He's just not a wicked wizard. You know what I'm saying? He's just a good man, but he knows exactly what he's saying, and he knows exactly what he's doing. This is why I try to come out here and help my brethren all the time. There's really no like beef with like the whole Puerto Rican thing. They're just lost children and they're just like getting in the way. That's all. But as far as the quantum leap, this is what they did. They took information from the past because that's why they're hiding behind white. And that's why everybody is bowing down to white supremacy, because in ancient times, white represents light, education. That's what it means. All royal people wore bright white. They wore colors so you could see them. They were looked at as the stars on Earth. But they actually really had information. That's the difference. And they were melanated. That's where the problem comes in. You guys of today, of modern time, are looking at a thing called race, which did not exist. Black and white did exist back in the day, but it's status. It has nothing to do with the color of your skin. That comes in with the Hindus in the caste system. That's why their dark-skinned people, they feel, are untouchables. But the original caste system comes in from the Egyptians, who are all melanated beings. So they wouldn't be casting by color. They would be casting by status. Pharaoh, workers, scribes, field men, guards. It's like that's how they did it. And there's another group that did it like that, and that's England. You had the king, you had the lords, which are like the clergymen, and then you had the guards, and then it goes down and down and down. From the worker to the serf, it goes, bruh. So how did y'all get caught up in both of these? Because Paleface clearly went over to like some Hindu type science. So did Adolf Hitler. This is why they don't like dark-skinned people, because that's the caste system they took. The caste system that people like Adolf Hitler took was the Hindu caste system, where dark-skinned people are untouchables. And the Mormons obviously took that caste system too. That's why they emphasized on what was it? Canaan. Canaan was cursed, dark skin, and that's why they talk like that. I just want people to know that, look, this person you're calling dark skinned, ugly, and nappy headed actually is more valuable than you, because that nappy head shows strength. It shows that it's growing. It's just like a tree. It's not a willow tree. There's only one tree that falls. That's willow tree. Other than that, all trees grow strong and up. All their branches and trees, they grow up. It's like a big fro. That's what trees look like. Trees bring oxygen. Oxygen is air. Air is what is Ka, or spirit. That is what's the performance on earth. It's through this air that we are performing on this earth. So this is a very great thing. Okay, the tree bark is usually brown, dark brown. Inside, it's light brown. I'm not trying to be racist. I'm actually kind of being spooky in a nature sense. So we know your hair is supposed to be strong. It's not supposed to be weak. It's not supposed to be falling off your face, falling off your head. So the nappy head is not bad at all. It's actually a good thing. Okay. As far as the skin goes, we all know about the UV rays of the universe. Bro, you really don't want to be out here burnt the fuck up. And people will be like, well, there's cold climates. Who wants to live in a cold climate? Now, I understand the East Coast. Yeah, okay, but it gets hot. Who really wants to live and die in Alaska? You want to be around snow 24/7? Really? Okay, well, pick your poison. But, I'd much rather be like where I am, in the States. I have beaches. I have all different types of stuff. I wouldn't want to like spend my whole life in just like an ice castle. It just doesn't sound appealing to me. And maybe that also proves who I am. People that want to live and die in the snow and in the mountain regions and shit is like, that's kind of proving who they are. Okay, well, where are all the empires at? In warm areas. You know what I'm saying? The pyramids, warm areas. Washington, D.C., warm area. Fucking, wherever you want to go, even in Rome, the cathedral, warm area. It's like nobody really puts grand castles and shit in no damn cold regions. Nobody's going over there like that. So, the true rulership of Earth is going to be melanated anyway, because that's where most people are, and that's where most people want to be. Cold areas are very thin populated. They're not majorly populated like that. Even in Russia, there's a gang of them, but there's also a gang of deserted area. Shit. Chinese desert. There's a gang of deserted area. Don't let these people spellcast you in hating melanated beings. Or if you are a melanated being, don't let them spellcast you into hating yourself. We don't have time for that shit. We're way too important to this whole story of life to waste it on a game that they kind of stole from the ancients anyway, and they're just playing it to us ass backwards. darkness. That's all they're doing. They're acting like white skin represents light being. It doesn't. It doesn't at all. The reason that we, the dark skinned people, are the light beings on earth is because that's what's inside. Whole point, I'll cut you down to the white meat. That's the whole point. And we're not talking about, oh, because your skin's light when you peel it. No. We're saying that's what's inside of you, the light. That's what a light being is. A light being technically would never be a white person because that destroys the whole point of the allegorical mystery in it. Why would I be saying you're a light being in your dark skin? Why would I say that? Because scientifically, the light came out of the darkness. That's what has been told. That is what you see. That is what is. That's what dawn does. It comes out of the darkness. So let there be light. Everything is void in the beginning. There's nothing there. It's eternal darkness. Then let there be light. So the stars are coming out of the universe. You see that. So now, if melanated beings are ruling ancient times, wouldn't they be the ones with that allegory first? So now do you get why you hear melanated beings talking about light beings? They're talking about what's inside of them. That morphs into white and black via the chess game because the chess white piece moves first. But they're not talking about... They were talking about more than just a game. They were talking about science. They were talking about strategy. They were talking about a lot of different things inside of this one game. It's so useful that even the Masons are using it today. That's another thing. Why ain't you ever heard about no fucking Chinese Grand Lodge in America? Why ain't you heard about no Hispanic Grand Lodge in America? Hindu Grand Lodge. Why the only lodges you hear about is black and white? We're not talking about red and blue. We're talking about people. Why there's only the Boule and then the White Masons? Why is that? Why is there not a bunch of other groups? They've been here long enough. They're all free, right? Why is yours start back in 1775? Right along with the White Masons at the same time. Because this game is not about, no disrespect, this game is not about mutants. And it's not about any other groups. And it specifically is going to wrap around black and white. Why? Because that is the chessboard. That is the game. They got it from the Moors. It's passed to these white people. But Moors was Arabians and Spaniards too. Why don't they have the information? I don't know. Why don't the Arab and the Hispanics have the most powerful nation on earth? This is God's work. This is God's work, which is higher thought. Something that people aren't ready for. People aren't ready really for this mission. They're really not. That's why they're colorism and they think so small. That's why they think so small. But that's why they're able to work it on a global, worldwide scale, and they have all colors of people in it. It's a degree of science. It's a elevational level that you're going to reach. That's why they do it. Like I said, that's why they're all colors. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just P. Diddy at these parties. There's a gang of white people there. But it's not about racism. Racism doesn't exist until like the late 1600s, 1700s. It doesn't exist. Still technically doesn't exist. It's just a paradigm that some people get stuck in, but it really doesn't matter. So what did we learn today? We learned that right now the spell is pretty much using ancient science and perverting it in modern time. That is pretty much what they're doing. They took black and white, which were statuses of knowledge. One is knowing, one is unknown. And then they turned it into race in modern time. So now you have literal, like, pale-faced crackheads on corners with signs begging for food, and they're calling them a light being. You have melanated beings in suit and ties that control business and, do charity events and coaches for football teams, little league and all. They're calling them darkness, unknown, fools, ignorant, niggers. But in ancient times, no one was bragging about that because it doesn't matter. There's literally English people with the last name Black. So it couldn't have been that bad, and that's English. Oh, well, they have been using black in ancient times, but who was represented by black people? Who was? There's no Africans who ever did that. And here's another funny thing. These Khoi Khoi, which, white people have turned into, or paleface has turned into Bushmen. They have chinky eyes, and they're like my color. The Twa is like my color and a little bit browner. They didn't argue with Congo people about white and black. They never did that. One's lighter, one's darker. They're even giving the props to the oldest people that supposedly went all over the world. They're saying that's the Twa, which is pygmies. Okay, they're not super dark skinned like that. So, the albino. We can't say that they kicked the albino out because of their skin tone. Albino, like bleeds out. They're like pale face in Africa, yo. They be having blotches and shit. They get scars. They get real, like, sunburn. It's bad for them out there. Maybe that was the reason the ancient African kicked them out. They didn't know what was wrong with them. They didn't have no cure for it. There isn't any cure for albinoism. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they thought they were diseased people and just, like, rejected them and pushed them away. That's my logical answer without being biased or racist or rude or crude. It's like maybe they just thought there was something wrong with them. But you never hear any stories about ancient Africans arguing over skin tone. I never heard of it. And you can't claim that the Egyptians enslaved the Nubians due to skin tone or phenotype or hair texture. There is no documentation of that. We don't have any of that. So you cannot claim that they were racially biased. Even when it comes to the Macedonians and the Egyptians and the Romans and the Egyptians and the Persians and the Egyptians, we can't say that they battled and fought because of racial differences. We can't say it's because of color differences. We really can't say that. Especially with the Romans and the Greeks. We can't. There's a plethora of Greek mythology that are black people, or what you would call black people. A gang of them. Then there are real people that were actually black. They're saying Achilles was black. You don't have to believe me, but they're just saying the area he was raised in, and like just talking about him, he just doesn't seem like a white person. Europa, which became Europe, that's a black woman. That's Greek mythology. You just look it up. But I don't believe there were so many black Roman soldiers. It's like I don't believe. Actually, I know for a fact in ancient times when they're talking about black and white, they're not differentiating racially like we do nowadays. They're not, because Moors ruled at a time. So it would be impossible. There are good and bad Masons. How do we know? Because a Shriner is a Mason in good standings. So that means there are Masons in bad standings who cannot be Shriners. So obviously there are bad Masons. Okay. Bad Masons are keeping this game afloat. They're keeping this racial shit going. And it's because they've lied to people. They lied to people and told them that they were a race. When really they're ethnicity, which means you're a mutant. You are a made-up thing who's just trying to branch off of a group that you're really from. Okay, the Koreans are Asians. That's who they're trying to branch off from, and become an ethnicity. All right. The Latino doesn't want to admit what they're branching off from. They don't want to admit it. It's like you're either niggas because they're going to try to claim some Native American. No. We've already mastered that. El Negro. You're either niggas because you can be an African or you can be an American Negro. You can pick either one. I don't care. But they're going to call you a nigga. If you're an African, they'll call you a Kefa. But it's like you're a nigga or you're a paleface. You have to pick one because the conquistadors come from Spain, and Spain is considered Europe, so they're Europeans. They don't want to choose. They want to act like they dumb to the shit. So it's like, that's where this whole hip-hop thing is coming in. And it was going to come eventually anyway, because remember, America has education here. So if you want it, you know what I'm saying? If you value wisdom, you're going to seek and find it. Just know that you're in a spell. Just know that. Just know that the whole thing that they're doing is they took some old science and they just turned it into skin tone when it really has nothing to do with skin tone. It's actually triple darkness like knowledge. It's actually real deep if you got into it, but they wouldn't want you to be a deep person anyway. They want you, surface based. That's why y'all took it in black and white and start dealing with skin, even though y'all know about nouns and adverbs or adjectives. You know about nouns and adjectives. You should. If you're educated, you should have knowledge on certain things instead of just being, like I said, surface level base information and then just going off what he's talking about. Then you got a lot of people in the background that will argue about lookership is corny, but that's pretty much all you guys are doing when it comes to racism. Culture has nothing to do with racism. It really doesn't, because skin tone doesn't have anything to do with culture. There's so much white trash out here is ridiculous. So much black trash out here is ridiculous. And on and on and on. So that's not it. It's knowledge. Okay, so what if I'm telling you they're fucking up over everybody by having them with backward knowledge? Isn't that a great way to make a fucking slave, a zombie, a yes man, a yes girl, somebody who's going to do what I want them to do? Okay, isn't most of the world deaf, dumb, and blind? Is it starting to make sense? Why? Look at all the mastodon bones they're finding out here recently. Like this year, they found like 3 different spots where they're finding mastodon bones, mastodon legs, jaws, teeth, all. But wait a minute, I thought everybody comes from Africa, because everything comes from Africa. All the animal life. Okay, but we already know on this page. We've already talked about the elephants. But wait a minute, we've already talked about the camel. Okay, so who's giving you the information to think racist? The same person who's telling you everything's from Africa. And here, let me jab you and give you the test. And I'm going to tell you where you're from. But everybody in 23andMe quit. Turned out they're just mixing DNA. They're stealing DNA and mixing it. They're purposely putting you places that you're not from. Why would they do that? Because it's a joke to begin with. Oh, well, they catch murderers all the time. That's a total different type of DNA. That's a fingerprint. That's your own blood. Of course, it connects to you, stupid, but I'm talking about connecting you to a person who's been dead 1,000 years. A tribe that's been fucking here on Earth 6,000 years. None of them exist anymore, though. You have these goofies that I'm telling you that you're from, but really you're not. Why is Keenan Ivory Wayne's Indonesia? Why is Keenan Ivory Wayne's blood go all the way to Indonesia and not Africa if everybody's from Africa? Why did it stop there? Why does he look like a nigga? Yo, we'll talk more, We'll talk more. But you can't front. I'm basically just putting it out there and just letting you know something. They pretty much did do that shit, and then they sci-fi'd it out. This is how they can make these type of movies. It's not that they really got time machines and stuff like that. No. They go into ancient time with fuckery. That's what they do. They take shit from ancient times and then they morph it into shit today. But if you don't know how to play the game that you're in, doesn't matter if you don't know the rules. You're in this game because you're born in it. Well, at least if you're in the corporation. And you don't know the rules and how to play the game, you'll forever be lost in it. But once you get it, then you have to say something to yourself. Okay, so why are they holding the light bearers? Why would they do that? I don't know. Why is all this stuff coming out? Why is the change happening in your one life? You're seeing it happen. And people are gonna argue about, oh, we don't make no sense. We're trying to be Native American. No, those are Siberians. Nobody want to be no Native American. We know what that is. We know who they are. We're saying we're American Indians. And then with the whole FBA thing, it's like, well, all that's doing is going to lead you back to the American Indians because it's just strictly the corporation base. That's all we're talking about. Well, that's all we're talking about. You know, some people want to go to South America and claim all the other stuff. No, I'm using Olmecs as a reference point. I'm using El Negro as a reference point. I'm using Negro del Terra as a reference point because it's going to lead you to the Negro League. It's going to lead you to Negroes only. It's going to lead you to Negro exit, colored water fountain. It's going to lead you to both of these who you're saying are not the same people because nobody's looking at the fucking Native American and saying that's Leroy. Nobody's doing that. But at the same time, in old language, they're comparing these two as uncanny. They're the same thing. How is that even possible? It shouldn't be possible at all. This shouldn't be possible at all. Because you're telling us we're crazy for calling ourselves Indian. We don't look nothing like them. Well, why is the old racist white guy comparing them both? And then here's another funny thing. Why was it red nigger and black nigger? Why are they saying that? Why are they saying that? Muhammad Ali, white guy, lets the Africans in the store. Oh, that's fine. They're not the niggers. Okay, what the fuck does that mean? And why are they referencing these two as niggers? Oh, the potato nigger, dog, that's food. Oh, the sand nigger, dog, that's fucking dirt. So Arabs and Irish people, they're not referring to as these niggers. They're saying it like as disrespect to them. Like they're the same as them. But only these two are they calling by color. They're saying red and black niggers. Oh, don't worry about it. That's fine. They're not the niggers. So once you put all that together, remember the red and the black nigger are both on American soil. Okay, the red man is the Virginian. The Virginian is the blackamoor. That's the niggers. They're talking about the same people. Everybody knows Oklahoma, red man, red skin, red people. That's what it means. So it's like, it's not disrespect to be called a red skin. We never had a problem with it. Hence why they're bringing the name back. So it's like, who's the only Reds you know? Red Fox, Detroit Red, Big Red from fucking Five Heartbeats. The only Reds you've ever met in your life were niggas. So it's like, who are they talking about? American Negroes. You're the American Indian. You are the niggas. The only niggas on earth come from America. There is nobody else saying this. Because nobody else is coming to a place that some conquistadors already were that said El Negro, Negro del Terra. Okay, the white boy takes this verbiage all the way up to his corporation, Negroes for Sale. Why would he do that? Because they were already here. There's already a name for these people. You can't call them something else. Everybody already knows who they are. They were already here. So red nigger, black nigger, same nigger. It's the same fucking person. They talking about the same person. Like I said, all the way to this day, name me another group that you know that's nickname is red. There ain't no other group but the Negro. And you ain't never called no fucking modern Native American a red man because most of them ain't red. Most of them don't get dark brown. Most of them are not dark brown at all. They look kind of like some fucking like Mexicans, like, but you don't even look like a real fucking Indian, bro. Or a Siberian, they look like a fucking Siberian. It's like, this ain't no real fucking Indian. This is a joke. It's too much documentation against your fucking Hollywood actors. There's too much documentation that proves that the Negroes and the Indians pretty much are uncanny. They're the same thing. Well, that's the big boom that's going out right now. I'm saying the quantum leap, we need to really study. I use that as a thumbnail shit. But we really need to think about that. Are they going into history, or did they? Is this their trick? They go into history and take ancient forms of doing things and then pervert it in modern times and then have everybody tripped out over some shit that's not even real. It's an illusion. It's fucking with your head. But we losing in the end because we're not using group economics. We're not linking up. We're not doing it the right way because we're too busy dealing with this colorism spell when we should just be messing with allies anyway. If you don't understand it and you're still lost in racism and you're arguing about certain things like reparations for slavery, when you fought your way out of that, you're not trying to get your patents back. You're not trying to unveil the veil. It's like, bro, slavery is, everybody knows that. Everybody don't know about all your patents, though. That should be your aim. Your aim should be like, oh, they don't want to teach our history with the DEI. No, bro, that's not real history. Nobody should be hearing about you being slaves all day. We shouldn't. We should be hearing about your 50,000 patents, bro. That's the history you should be giving yourself. You're not giving yourself no damn slavery shit. And then, like I said, that leads more to payment. You keep talking about why are we not up? This is why we're failing. This is why we're okay. Give them the facts. Stop giving them slavery. Give them burnt schools, bro. Give them burnt crops. Give them fucking lying on your name. Give them destroying your towns. Give them taking your patents. Like give them substance, something to work with where they have no choice but to pay us. That's what I'm saying. Y'all want to talk about slavery? That's bringing in a bunch of mixed breeds, all different types of shit. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about why you are setting this group up and why we are not worried about the homeless. Who gives a damn about people that are purposely crackheads and losers? That's not what we're saying. Black people, we're not purposely crackheads and losers. You guys turned them into that. That is what we're saying. You took all their options away, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now the drug use, yeah, you're right. You just say no, but I'm saying you took all their options away to where they started becoming low cognitive. If you take education from people, eventually they will reform into a primitive state. It makes sense. That's what you owe for. The spell cast, the mind fuck, the puppet show, putting them back on stage, robbing them. You got dude from Cosby Show. He's talking about he's struggling. You got Jim Carrey. He's talking about he had to get back into acting for the Sonic 3 because he needed the money. I thought these people are rich, bro. It doesn't make any sense. Shit, but we can let Puff Daddy drive a motorcycle in the jail cell. I seen that shit. This nigga is in the fucking whole jail cell, like the whole cell block by himself, rolling a little fucking four-wheeler around his mother. Little one. Just, Jeffrey Epstein and fucking jail sweats, taking care of business, driving in cars and shit, bro. See, this is why I don't value money, because look what it does. Money allows evil to live. It allows evil to breed because motherfuckers will just do anything for this piece of fucking paper. See, I value like loyalty, courage, you know what I'm saying? Genius thoughts, wise people. That's what I value. It's gotta change. But it's gonna change with the more you know. The more you know, the more you grow. So appreciate y'all, showing up, stopping by. There's more to come. There's a new year, so I gotta end this video I gotta end this year with a bang. But I will tell you this much: it's way deeper than just who created hip hop and no. Look, you American Indians gotta realize something. They have been trying to destroy you for a long time, and they're still trying to. And now that you're waking up out of the spell and you're knowing what turf you're from and you're knowing who you really are and you're trying to separate yourself from people that look like you, even though you were put in a spell to worship and like all the people that look like you due to this Pan-African thing. See, Pan-Africa is CIA. People don't get it. We told y'all for the government. It's the government that wrote down that Kool Herc and them is the creators of hip hop. All Caribbeans. Knowing that hip hop is created from all American forms of music. That's what it is. It's literally rapping and mixing all American sounds. So how did a bunch of Caribbeans come up with it? Doesn't even make any sense. Who would even want to play these records to find the break beats? Who would be growing up on these records to love the break beats, to dance to them? This is insane. Like, this is insane, but this is CIA shit. They wrote that down. And you just got people following suit with it. And that's why I said, who said New York is responsible for hip hop? Who gave them that? How is the same place that all these little boys is getting molested all through the 80s, we gonna say is the home of hip hop? And that's no disrespect to the Bronx. It has nothing to do with them. What I'm saying is hip hop. I'm saying hip hop. The thing where you say that Bambaataa brought the other elements and then created, that's what I'm talking about. That thing. I'm not talking about brothers using rhythmic patterns over beats. But that's American, though. So basically, who gave you hip hop, guys? You know, not the street kids on the corner. They're just kids. You guys admit it. You're just kids. You don't worldly know anything. So you got a bunch of kids creating a spellcasting form of music. You got these spellcasters in the background watching this shit. And they're like, we're going to tell them it's just nigger music. It's just going to be a fad. They don't even realize what we're about to do with this. Then a little bit later, here comes this fucking meeting about these private prisons. All that shit fits like cake butter. Jimmy Carter, 77 with the treaty. Look at all this shit. Look at all of it forms together. It's all hitting. Yeah, but like only a genius could do that. Who said these elites were stupid? I've always said by the time you catch up to them, they'll be years ahead of you. Pretty much see it. I believe rhyme and rap and flowing, and you can say style and graffiti and all that dance and stuff. Yeah, but the main thing is the spellcasting. That's from America. That has been here. And it's just odd that hip-hop would be wrapped around a bunch of tethers. And then later on, people will wake up out of the spell and then realize who you're giving your legacy to. You're giving it to a bunch of people that were not here. They were not raped and hung here. They did not run in the fields of Mississippi. They did not run in the fields of South Carolina, North Carolina. They're not from here. And you're giving them your fight. You're giving them your marches. You're giving them your Ida B. Wells, your Harriet Tubman, your Nat Turner. All your geniuses. Your Henry Ford and Benjamin Montgomery and Frederick Patterson. You're giving them all yours. Now, if that's not a spell for you, I don't know what is. Wisen up. And remember, I want everybody to win. I just want my people to win first. Goes.